Hello, good morning. I hope that you're all well and that you've had a good week. My week has been so busy. There's just not been enough hours in each and every day to do all that I want to do and all that I need to do. The decorators are still here working on freshening up the decor throughout our home. They've now moved into the downstairs loo. And we've got quite a big downstairs cloakroom, and it is full of samplers and other things on the wall. I always think it's nice to have interesting walls in a loo. So that means that even more frame pieces are stockpiled in the snooker room. I've been so busy, I haven't had a chance with my caretaker to rehang the samplers in the breakfast room. I tell you what, I never realised that I had stitched so many samplers through the years. Until you see them all together, it's a shock. This week I had two small finishes, which I can't show you at the moment, but what I can show you is my new start. And it's a red sampler, and it's a Scottish sampler, and I've been working on it the last 2 nights. I have this habit of liking to stitch my border first, but I've compromised with partially stitching the border and then stitching the dividing rows across, and basically the alphabets that you see started is just me finishing off what I had left on the end of my thread when I reached the end of the row. Last night I got to this lovely 4-sided alphabet, which is just a joy to stitch, and I'm just working across a 4-sided band here, and then we've got some more exciting bands to come. I love a red sampler, so soothing. And where I've been so busy this week and I've got so many things going around in my mind, I haven't got the concentration to stitch on a more sort of complex sampler, a more sort of multicoloured sampler. When you're working with one colour, it's very soothing on the mind. We've got something very, very exciting coming out in February, something that we've never done before. I can't wait to share it, but I'm going to keep it as a real surprise. It's going to be announced to coincide with my 60th birthday. So very, very exciting. Now, I've got to seal my lips not to spoil the surprise. This week, we released a new sampler, or samplers I should say, and that is the needlework of Edith Levi. Edith stitched her 2 samplers and they were separate, they weren't framed together, but I decided to frame these together. It was just how I envisaged them to be for me. You might like to frame them separately. Now, Edith stitched her first sampler, and she tells us it's her first sampler, when she was 7 years old. And I think that she just continued with her second sampler, so she may have stitched this one when she was 7 years old as well, or possibly 8. She tells us that this is her second sampler. On the first sampler, she tells us how old she is and her address, 11 Clifton Gardens. And on her second sampler, she just gives her first name and that it's her second sampler. And because she hasn't given her surname, I think that these 2 samplers literally just ran on one from the other. I loved working on these samplers. I saw Edith come up for sale late at night. I have a habit, before I go to sleep at night, I like to dip into a book, I like to browse the internet, and one of the things I always do is check with the auction houses what samplers have come up for sale. And I saw these and I just, they just hit me that I wanted them. Edith really spoke to me. And because she said Leven Clifton Gardens, she didn't say what city and what year. It was very hard to find her, and I literally stayed awake all night working my way back through the census returns, and I decided to start with London because I knew there was a Clifton Gardens in London, and I started with the later censuses, looking at the Levi's, and I was so pleased when I found her. Edith, I found her on the 1891 census living at Leven Clifton Gardens, London. Edith was born in 1869, so she stitched the sampler when she was 7 in 1876. We have Edith's full history from her birth to her death. Edith lived to 87 years of age. Her death certificate shows that she had undergone a mastectomy, and unfortunately the breast cancer had metastasized, which is very, very sad. And this was in 1956, so a mastectomy and the follow-up treatment would have been brutal at that time. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit more about the samplers. They can be worked on Ada or linen, but they're not just cross-stitch over 2. Edith used cross-stitch over 2. She used double running stitch, open backstitch, herringbone stitch, satin stitch, Smyrna cross stitch, and long straight stitches. This second sampler has so many different stitches in the bottom of it that it's just great fun to stitch. It's something different for your needle. This little sampler in particular will entertain your needle. They're all very, very easy stitches to do. The other thing that I really, really loved about this second sampler was that it contained the Hebrew alphabet, and you don't see many samplers with the Hebrew alphabet, and I'm not familiar with the alphabet, so I really enjoyed charting them and stitching them. It was something different for my needle, and I'm very grateful to one of my dearest friends and her husband for helping me understand the alphabet, and also to Cassie Rothman, who also gave me some guidance on the alphabet after conferring with her rabbi. Cassie actually wrote the foreword in the little booklet, and the original samplers are now with Cassie, and Cassie intends to donate these samplers either to the Pomegranate Guild or her synagogue or a Jewish museum, because she feels that these are samplers that are very important and should be made available for everybody. And I'm really, really honoured that we've made them available for you to stitch. Now, the first little sampler is 91 by 85 stitches on 14 count Ada, 28 count linen. It would be 6.5 inches by 607, very, very small. If you stitched it on 18 count Ada, 36 count linen, it'd be 506 by 4.72. And if you stitched it on 46 count linen, it would be 3.96 by 3.70. These are tiny little pieces. The second sampler is 79 by 77 stitches. Now, for those of you that remember me showing the original samplers, you will recall that the second sampler was larger than the first sampler, but in fact, it was actually smaller. The second sampler was stitched on a much lower count than the first sampler. So when you stitch them on the same count, The second sampler is the smaller one. We used Soie 103 to stitch the sampler, but as always you have a Soie d'Alger conversion and a DMC conversion in the little booklet. The little booklet we did slightly differently to our normal format. We put it in the A4 booklet, and we charted the sampler over a 2-page spread. We felt that this little sampler, because of the size of it, lent itself to this type of layout, and then we did the same for the second sampler. Now you will notice this stitch diagram, and this is the open backstitched herringbone stitch, and this is a fun stitch to work. We take you through each stage of the stitch. Very simple to work, but it gives you this beautiful border, which is very, very effective. There she is. Now, the booklets are with our distributors in the US, and some stores have already received them. The booklets are available on our website, and so is an instant PDF download for those of you that prefer to stitch from your electronic devices. I've got to admit, I really like stitching from my phone or my iPad. I tend to stitch mostly from my phone because on my fabric I can put my phone right there. So as I'm stitching, it's there. And in fact, if I open, here we are, this is how I stitch, and I can blow that up as big as I want or as small as I want. And how why I prefer it like this is because I am working on 56 count, my eyes are very focused in. If I have to look up and look across at a different distance, my eyes have to keep on refocusing to the chart and back to my stitching. If I have these right next to each other, my eyes aren't having to refocus, and I just find it's easier on my eye. Stitching from your phone is really, really good. Try it, you might be surprised. Okay, so what else have I got here? Well, I've got quite a bit actually. Oh, this is the red that I am using for this little sampler that I'm stitching. The sampler's name is Mary, and it's that beautiful 523, which is such a soft red. This is what I call the sun-kissed red. I'm using my red Kahana scissors, and I am using this really beautiful tray to hold everything. Isn't that gorgeous? Really beautiful, this tray. And I've got a little pin cushion there for my needles, and that is literally all I need to stitch this little sampler. If you're interested in this tray, it's a metal tray, and it has a suede base to stop it slipping, and it has this beautiful high sheen finish on this pattern inside. I bought this from Hobby House Needleworks in the US, and I checked, and these are available on their website. I love this. So pretty and so useful. I use it on my stitching table, but something like this is ideal on a hall table, on a sideboard, on a dressing table. I'm always losing things. I put things down and they disappear. If I put them onto a tray or into a little container, they don't get pushed to one side, and I find it's a little bit easier using them. I really do like that tray and use it a lot. Something else I got from Hobby House is this, and it is a paperweight, and it's made by MIHO, Unexpected Things. And inside here is, and this is really heavy, is a beautiful paperweight, and it's got that gorgeous embroidered flower inside. Isn't that pretty? Paperweights are very useful. We've always got our windows open. We love fresh air, and quite often things blow off our desk. My husband and I, we share a partner's desk, and our study, the windows overlook the cove, and it's lovely having the breeze come in, but papers get blown around, and paperweights are very, very useful. This I got from Hobby House Needleworks as well, and this is available on their website, so pop along and have a look. Shopping. This week I had some new linen come. Now, some of you may have had this. It's not a brand new colour, but it's the first time I've actually had this linen, so it's a new colour to me, and it's Kingston based Zweigart linen, over dyed by Tabby Cat linen to the colour Squirrel Nut King, and here it is. Really gorgeous colour. I'm looking forward to using this on a project. Really like that. Yeah, when I see linen, my brain whirs thinking which sampler will work on that. I've got an idea for a few of them on this linen. So that's by Tabby Cat linen. Now, this isn't something I've got for sale at the moment, but probably next weekend I'm going to have a few little trays for sale, which feature the Loughety mice family. So you've got Papa Loughety, Mama Loughety and Master Loughety. These little trays, they've got little magnet in so that you can pop your pins and they don't move. And this is one of, well, this is just such a beautiful shape. I love it. Isn't that gorgeous? I think that's so, so beautiful. So I got this last week, and I asked the wood turner if he would make a few so I could share them with my needlework friends, and I hope for next weekend I'll have a few of these and I will put them on my website for sale. This week there have been several finishes of this sweet little sampler. This is Dorothy Sampson's sampler that she stitched in 1906. A lot of people have been stitching the needlework of Dorothy Sampson as blessing samplers for January. This one's mine, and I love it, and it's so nice to see your finishes. The other little bit of news I've got is about Elizabeth Garrard. Now, it was suggested that this was stitched in the month of March to celebrate St. Patrick's Day because it's green, and the charts went whoosh out of the door. I've had some more reprinted, and they came in on Friday afternoon, and they will be collected Monday morning and will be with our distributors on Wednesday or Thursday, and they are now re-available, the printed booklets, on my website. It was just, I woke up one morning and my inbox was just slammed with orders for Elizabeth, so I was caught on the hop a little bit. But PDF downloads, they are available all the time for download on the website. This came, and this is just fabulous. It's a handkerchief case. When you open it up, there is inside a gorgeous little embroidered handkerchief. and the handkerchief will come out. It's just a little handkerchief case. And this has been worked in perforated paper, and why this called to me so much is that it says, wishing you many happy returns of the day from SS to MEB 1878. And I love the backstory behind needleworks and samplers, and the fact that somebody loved somebody enough to make this makes this so special to me. There we are. This will be something that I'm going to reproduce, and we can have a workshop on how to construct one of these to give as a gift for a friend. It's just beautiful and very, very precious. So sometime throughout this year, I will get this into a workshop, and maybe an online workshop, so that everybody can enjoy it. I am thinking of doing more online workshops so that, you know, I can reach a wider community of needleworkers. Must be very careful with that because it's fragile. Okay, I think that rounds it up for this week. I'm going to go and resume my packing. I see cellophane bags in my sleep. When I'm packing, I always think about, I wonder who is going to open this bag I've just sealed. And I always hope that when you do open the bag and you pull out the booklet and you open it, that you will be thrilled, and that you will enjoy the story of the needleworker and enjoy stitching that sampler. Okay, right, until next week, stay safe, stay well, bye-bye.